Okay, we are back to streaming live on YouTube. I'm calling State of Georgia versus Jose Godoy Alvarez. So if you're Mr. Alvarez, please wave at me to confirm that. Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Um, Mr. Alvarez is charged with sexual battery, warrant number 2025 WA01969, and representing the state is Mr. Nobles. Representing Mr. Godoy Alvarez is Mr. Lane. And given the nature of the charge here, if we can just refer to the victim by the initials or by victim uh, uh, while we're conducting the trial. And so, Mr. Nobles, you can call your witness.
Yeah. This time, if they will call um officer straight to the to testify. Officer Straight, can you please raise your right hand for me? I don't see him. And
Yeah,
do you,
I can see him. Yeah, he's
okay.
there. You may have to slide picture over or something.
Yeah. Officer Raymond, do you swear affirm the testimony provided today will be the truth, the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Can you please say your name for the court?
Officer Strike,
Can you tell me where you're employed?
Mara Police Department.
Were you still employed um back on March 7th, 2025?
Was I employed? Yes, sir. I was employed with the Mara Police Department.
Okay. And on that day, did you respond to a call involving Mr. Godoy?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And when you responded to that location, well, what was the location you responded to?
I responded to let me get the address. I thought I put it in here. I responded to I think the sister's house and the sister's house and the AM. They both own a house together. I forget what the address is exactly.
Was it 5939 Malibu Trail?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And was this also the location where the incident happened?
Yes, sir, it is.
Was this in Clayton County?
Yes, sir, it was.
And were you able to meet with the victim?
Yes.
And what did she advise you had occurred?
She advised me that a couple of days before that she was in the kitchen. Mr. Godoy, excuse me, walked into the kitchen. She told him that she made coffee, that he can get it himself. And then she went into the fridge to get something. I think a plate of beans is what she said. But she had to bend over to get it. She's in a very vulnerable position. Mr. Godoy then comes up to her and grabs her waist. I'm sure you can picture that manner of how he did that. Um, and told her he always had a thing for her. At that time, she started yelling at him. And she told me that he wanted her to lean up to whisper something in her ear and get closer. And she started yelling some more, and he finally got out. So that is what she stated to me.
Did any part of Mr. Godoy Alvarez's body make contact with the victim?
His genitalia.
What part of what part of her body did his genitalia make contact with?
And made contact with the butt.
Okay. And did she advise whether she consented to this contact?
She did not consent to that. No.
Okay. All right. And did you secure warrants as a result of your investigation?
Yes, sir.
What warrant did you take out?
Sexual battery.
All right. That's all the questions I have for you, Officer Straight. The defense might have some additional questions.
All right.
All right, Mr. Lane.
Hey, good morning, officer.
Good morning.
Have you generated a report from this incident?
I did.
Okay. When did you generate that report?
I generated that night.
Okay. I was just curious why that wasn't provided for the hearing. We typically get a report for these hearings, but all I've got here is I guess the warrant or the arrest affidavit.
Yeah, I had the same question when I received this call about this hearing. So
Uh,
I don't really
okay.
know.
Okay. And I guess just looking here then is at the affidavit, it says they use the word that he pressed his prostate against her butt. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so didn't use the word genitalia and said it uses the word prostate.
Yeah, when I filled out the WAA, I wasn't I guess I need to be more specific as far as like the entire body part. Instead of just yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the alleged victim here then when you were interviewing her, she actually used the word that he pressed his genitalia against her.
So
Or
when she it was explaining it, um, in the vulnerable state that she was in, that he pressed himself against her, yes, by grabbing her waist.
okay. Has anybody ever interviewed Mr. Godoy to get his version of what occurred?
Oh, I interviewed him myself, in order to get the full story and to make an arrest. Um, I wanted to see his side of the story just to clarify things. When he was explaining it, he did admit to coming up and grabbing her waist. He was saying it was by accident. I was asking how big this kitchen was because if it was a really small kitchen, it could be understandable him accidentally doing it. But if it's a normal size kitchen, there should be no reason for that. Um, and they said it was like a normal size kitchen. And he also, while explaining exactly what happened, he made the impersonation of coming up and grabbing the waist and pressing his genitalia up against her buttocks. So
And you said, did you actually see the kitchen yourself or they just
from the
described it to you?
doorway, I
Okay.
saw it from the doorway.
And so it was your opinion then that this is a normal sized kitchen and wasn't like a narrow.
Yeah, no, there's enough room to get through without grabbing the waist.
Okay. Do you remember where the sink was in relation to the refrigerator where the alleged victim
I didn't see the sink.
was?
No, I didn't see the sink.
Okay. And was any video reviewed of the incident?
Yes, sir, it was.
Oh, okay. Was it cell phone video or security
Oh, of
camera?
the incident? No, no, not of the incident. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the when I was out there.
Oh, okay. So you had your body cam on then when you were
Yes,
interviewing him?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other witnesses interviewed?
Nobody else. I asked. The sister, she showed up a little bit later, which is the in a relationship with the victim. She showed. I don't really exactly remember what time she said she showed up. All she could tell me was on later that day that he was intoxicated, including that morning he was intoxicated.
Okay. And so after this incident allegedly occurred in the kitchen, how much time elapsed before you were called out there?
It was a couple days. I asked the same question.
Okay. And what was the reasoning, I guess, why weren't, if this occurred, why weren't you called that, immediately?
Um, I don't honestly recall exactly what she says. I remember asking the question, but I can't remember exactly on what she stated.
All right. Thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, does the state have any other witnesses?
No additional witnesses.
And Mr. Lane, are you all presenting any witnesses today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Nobles, do you want to reserve closing?
Yes, I'll reserve.
All right. And Mr. Lane?
Your Honor, we just request a dismissal of the charge here, the sexual battery charge, just based on there isn't a report giving any details of what occurred. We're just left with this warrant that refers to my client allegedly pressing his prostate against the alleged victim's buttocks. I don't even know how that's really physically possible. And so just based on that, we and lack of any other details, and then this odd 2-day delay of before the police were even called, certainly calls into question the truthfulness or the allegation here. So we just request a dismissal.
All right, Mr. Nobles?
Yes, you heard testimony that the officer Straight actually spoke to the victim in the case, who advised that she did not consent to this contact, that she was approached from behind and her waist was grabbed, and contact was made with his private area with her buttocks. So we will maintain that literally fits the definition of sexual battery. We do feel that sufficient evidence has been provided for the court to go ahead and bind this case over. So we ask that the court find probable cause.
Okay. Thank you both. Based on the testimony presented, I do find probable cause to bind the case over to state court. I will issue that order today. And Officer Straight, if you don't have anything else today, you can be excused. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And deputies that will take care of Mr. Godoy, he can be taken back.